Hi everybody, welcome back to Ursus Life. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today and go over week 3 of Weight Loss God's Way. There were so many great nuggets in this lesson for the week, and so I want to jump right into it. Alright, so this week was all about self-care, and I loved that, okay? I have really committed myself to self-care over the last year, so I was ready for this section. I didn't know it was coming, but I was excited when I saw that's what it was. And I've got my notes over here, so I'm going to be reading some of my notes on the screen. So this week, the first exercise was to determine our current level of self-care. And the first thing was to determine if we suffered from what the book terms as other care imbalance disorder, where we pour into others and we don't pour into ourselves, and we also pour into others and don't allow others to pour into us. And I can happily say that I've been working on this over the last year. And so I was really excited when this came up because I wanted to see how I would score or where I would fall on this evaluation. And I can say I did pretty well. And I do not suffer from other care imbalance disorder anymore. I used to, but not anymore. Thank God, and it's getting better and better. And one thing, the second part of the exercise was to write down 10 reasons that we tell ourselves, our 10 excuses. Write down our 10 excuses for poor self-care. So what do we tell ourselves? I'm too tired, not enough time, the children, the husband, the house, the job, whatever, or don't deserve it, or it's not worth it, the time, whatever it is that we tell ourselves for the reason why we don't practice self-care. And I used to have a running list. Like, my list was all of those things and so much more. And so I was glad to be able to say, I don't have that list anymore. And I do practice self-care. And I'm working on getting better at it every day. And actually, one thing in my journal that I bought that I shared with you guys a couple of weeks ago, it has a section on there for self-care. What did I do for self-care today? And I've been writing in there, my walking, whether, painting my nails, like today I painted my nails, taking a nap, whatever it is that I felt like I needed that day. But I do like that this new journal that I bought, that I'm also tracking my food and my weight and my measurements in, it has all of those things in it, so it's all encompassing, and that has been so great to have it all in one place. But I was able to check that tick that off, and I was very happy about that. And it's something I want to grow into, because I think learning to treat yourself well is something you have to work at, because I think I know for me it did not come naturally like that. I've had to make an effort to do it, and I've gotten a lot better, and I just want to continue on that track and just get better and better and better. After that part, the next section was a list of 15 daily practices that we are to begin. And I am just starting these practices in the upcoming week because it's a lot of things. But I do believe it's going to become like, whenever you are learning, if you know how to drive a 5-speed car, when you first are learning, you're like, okay, clutch, shift, and like you're trying to remember all the different pieces. But then once you learn to drive the car, it's just get in and go, and it just becomes a thing that you do, and you're no longer thinking of the 17 different steps of clutch, gear change, gas, clutch. You're not doing that anymore. I believe that's how these 15 steps are going to be, and I'm just going to go through them very quickly without any elaboration, because the link to the book is in the description box, and also is going to be pinned in the comment section, so you can look this up yourself under week 3. But the 15 daily practices is to have one self-improvement appointment every single day, Keep a progress diary or journal and make daily entries. Celebrate and record every achievement, no matter how small it may seem. Do your visualization and affirmations daily. Say your prayers. Mind your self-talk constantly. Monitor and control your mood and your attitude. Express some gratitude throughout the day, every day. Get some appropriate physical activity, exercise. Weigh yourself every single day. Seek daily social support as needed. Keep the faith. Go with the flow. And remember, this is a good one. Remember that willpower is really no power at all. And give yourself a realistic time frame and practice patience in the meantime. So some of those things are not actually things that you do all the time, like making sure that I'm minding my self-talk. Well, I'm in the process of retraining that, right? To tell myself the things that I can do versus always what you can't do. So, and then also monitoring your attitude throughout the day, being patient with yourself, being kind to yourself. And I really like the part about the willpower, because the way it's described in the book is willpower is always a struggle. I am struggling to overpower what I really want to do by sheer force of will. And eventually, that kind of gets old and you quit. And we all know that. We've all been there. Willpower wears thin after a while. So what you want to do is actually renew your mind so you're not fighting against what you want to do. You're working with what you want to do. And that has been the major change. Like I said, I believe in the last video I was saying it had been like the best week, and it's just been a continuation of that, because every day I want to do it more and more. Every day that I get up and I feel better, every day that I complete all the things that I know I need to do, I know it's taking me just a day closer to my goal, a day closer to not just like the end goal of the final overall weight loss, but also the end goal of the life that I want to live. The end goal of, I see myself riding roller coasters, I see myself traveling, I see myself running and playing on the beach, I see myself doing all these things. So it's like I want to get there. I want to get there yesterday, and I don't want to do anything that's going to derail that process. Now, the great thing about with the 15 practices, the 15 daily practices, is I'd already gotten the book, so that was one thing, right? To get your book, record your progress every day. I do that, and then it has like a gratitude section in the notebook. So it was really amazing that I chose that notebook, and it has everything in it that I need. The only thing that I'm not doing is weighing every single day, because I decided I'm going to weigh once a week. Now, I may change that after a while, but I know me, and like the first time I started this journey, I was on the scale in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, and it just became like an obsessive thing, and I don't want to do that. So one time a week, because I want to make sure that I'm going in the right direction. But I don't want to become obsessed with it, because I know fluctuations change, and that if I'm eating the meals I'm supposed to be eating, I'm getting the amount of exercise I'm supposed to be getting, I know I'm in a calorie deficit. Just science says the scale's going to go down. So if it's up on Tuesday, down Wednesday, up on Thursday, I know overall, week to week, I should see a decline, right? So 1 week is going to be all that I'm going to weigh for now. For now. I may change that later, but for now, weighing Wednesdays, that's where it's at. And I really like that, because first of all, it gives me a specific day that I know I'm going to weigh and measure. And that way, since it's always constant, it's easy to measure week to week, and then I can also look back and see, well, did I do everything I should have done? Could I have done better? Yeah, so I like that. I like having the measurement week to week so that I know that I'm comparing apples to apples. But the everyday thing, first of all, that's too much. I'm not going to open the door to become obsessed about it. And 2, I don't want to record all that information. So once a week is enough. So everything on this list is what I'm already doing. A lot of it. So that was really good. And also the daily exercise. Well, I don't know if you all have been following me. You know that I've been walking 1 mile a day, every day for 30 days. For 4 times in a row now. So for 4 months in a row, I've done this. And actually on Monday, October 3rd is going to start my newest round of walking 1 mile a day, every day for 30 days. And so that's in the bag. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So that's done. That's my exercise. And if you guys want to join, comment down below. Let me know. Because put your sneakers on. Let's walk. Now, we can walk more than that. I've actually upped my miles over the last, from consistently walking for the last 4 months. I'm walking about 2 miles a day. But my minimum is 1. I've committed to 1. And it will not be less than 1. But it could be 10 if I wanted to. I've never walked that many, but it could be 10 if I wanted to. So anyway, those are the 15 things to do every day. And so now this is where it starts to get into the actual doing part of the process. It's been working a lot the first few weeks, like with our minds, understanding how we think and where those thoughts came from, and beginning the process of renewing our minds. And now we're starting to pair in actual actions to go with those. And so one of them was to record your calories, record how much food you're consuming every day, to do some form of activity every day. And that falls in with what I'm already doing, because with Eat Like a Bear, with the salad, I know how much I'm eating every day. One thing I've added, if you saw my last video on why I felt like my weigh-in Wednesday was such a success, is because I have begun tracking calories even when I'm not eating the salad, because that is a big pitfall, because you think, oh, it can't be that much, but it really can be that much of a difference from eating a large salad with very low calories to having a plate of food. Yes, you're still eating 1 meal a day. Yes, you're still intermittent fasting. And yes, it can still even be keto low carb, but it can still be way more calories if I don't have a good idea of what it is. So with that being said, tracking the calories is really helping. So I'm tracking the calories and also getting the activity, writing it down every day in my book. So these things kind of go hand in hand with what week 3 is saying to do. Now, one of the biggest things, the biggest takeaways, and this is to wrap it up, one of the biggest takeaways was rewriting the vision, because I believe it was in week 1, we had to write the vision of how we picture the life that we want to live. And it's been revisited several times. And now this time to do it again, to take the time to really write it out, flesh it out, make any changes that we may want to make, and really get it clear on what we want, and make sure that what we're saying in the vision is what we want, so that we can print it out and read it and study and meditate on it. And so I'm in the process of doing that. And it even says take as long as you need for this section, because it's our vision, right? We don't want to rush through it just because we want to tick it off for the day. This is supposed to be to benefit us. So I'm in the process of rewriting the vision to make sure it's everything that I want it to be. That's one of the major takeaways. And then the second thing is writing down affirmations. Affirmations are going to be daily confessions that we make and read out loud. And I used to do this a long time ago. I used to make a list of confessions and I had it printed and I would read it out loud every day. And it was so good for me. And I just stopped. Why do we stop doing things that work for us? I don't know. But I'm working on that list of confessions. And I just wanted to share a couple of things about what the affirmations should be. And so they should be positive, in the present and in the present tense. So for example, you would not want to say, I don't. That's not positive. I don't eat fast food. I mean, that's a good thing, right? But that's not an affirmation to say, I feed my body healthy foods. You're basically saying the same thing, right? But it is a positive affirmation. So, I am, I do. I am, I do, I have, I weigh. Those are the positives. You know, I weigh and say your goal weight. I have this. I am this. So I'm working on those 10. Okay, so then after you write your 10 simple sentence affirmations, you do one 4-legged affirmation. And this one is like a very in-depth affirmation because it has 4 sentences that tells where you've been, what the consequences of that is, and what you're doing and why. So, for example, the first sentence you talk about what you don't do anymore, the behavior you're not doing anymore. The second sentence says why, because when I did that behavior, these were the consequences of the behavior. The third sentence says, well, what am I doing in its place? Now I'm doing this. And the fourth sentence says, and now I'm doing that because. So for example, I no longer sit on the couch all day because when I sat on the couch all day, I felt sluggish and like I was letting life pass me by. Now I walk for an hour every day. And I walk for an hour every day because it improves my health, my longevity, and it's a great example for my family and my children. That's like an example. That's not what I used, although it could be. But that's an example of the 4-legged affirmation so that not only are you focused on what you're doing, but also the behavior that you change. We know, because what is one of the biggest things, the problems that we have? We go back to doing what we did before, right? Even when we find something that works, many of us have been on weight loss journeys and things work. And then, sooner or later, you wake up one day and as you're eating chips, watching Netflix, and you realize, I'm no longer doing those things that I was doing. And then you look down and you see the results of you no longer doing those things. I can't tell you how many times I have realized randomly on a Thursday evening that I'm not doing something that I was doing before. I know I'm not the only person. And it is such a revelation because it's like, when did I even stop doing that? Why? Why did I stop doing that? That makes no sense. And then there's no answer and there's no explanation. There's no reason. And all you know is that you quit 3 months ago and the results show it. So now we're going for permanent change. No more waking up 3 months later and it's like, wasn't I supposed to be losing weight? Wasn't I making YouTube channels? No more of that, okay? No more. Zilch. So those are the biggest takeaways for this week. Practicing self-care, and if we're not, identifying reasons why we're not, and then recognizing that those are lies and we need to do it and make time for ourselves and treat ourselves well. Revisiting the vision that we have for our lives, because that vision, it draws you to it. And that is so true. The vision will draw you to it. That's why it needs to be clear, and it needs to be what we really and truly want. And it can be revised and edited and updated and added to and expanded all the time. It's not a static thing. It is an evolving, growing thing, because one thing that I'm seeing is as each day goes by, the weeks go by, my vision is growing, and what I thought was capable 3 weeks ago is changing today. I'll know it'll change next week, next year. And then as I begin to live those things in my life, I'm sure the vision will continue to grow. So you want to keep that. And then also the affirmations go with it. The affirmations that support that vision, that says that I am, I have, I weigh, I do those things in my vision. So that has just been so wonderful. And then couple that with the practical things that have been brought in for this week of counting your calories, writing it down every day, telling the truth and being honest about it, and also getting in daily exercise, which I'm already doing. So it's like, yay, it's all like coming together, which is what I want, right? We want it to all come together so it just flows like it needs to be, and it's not a struggle. I hear so many people, and I was one of those people, it was such a struggle every day to do the things, but now it's not. It's like, no, it's good to do the things. I want to do the things. Can I please check the things off my list? Like, when I finish this, I'm going to go walk. Gladly, happily, cheerfully, I will walk. So that wraps it up for week 3. And then coming up next will be Weigh-In Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. And please let me know if you are following along in the book. Again, I will have a link for it in the description box and also pinned in the comments. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.